In our travels so far across the United States, as we've explored its haunted past, we have found ourselves in some very unique locations, from a haunted zoo all the way to the White House. We have discovered a full range of experiences from numerous sources, such as well-known actors, authors, and of course, fellow YouTubers. And tonight will be no different, as we travel to a whole new creepy corner of the United States. But don't let tonight's remote location fool you. You may enter by yourself, but in this location, you are anything but alone. On the coast of Florida, looming in the horizon on the unforgiving waters of the Atlantic Ocean, stands an intimidating structure, one of America's oldest and most haunted lighthouses. Standing at 164 feet tall, with 219 steps to the top of the tower, the St. Augustine Lighthouse, which is nestled on the northern edge of Anastasia Islands, has, for better or worse, seen its fair share of history. A history that has made it somewhat infamous amongst history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Looking up at its twisted black and white striped base, capped with a blood-red crown, you can almost sense it. Something here is unsettling, and its extensive history has definitely left its mark. And tonight, we will take it upon ourselves to look into this history, from the inception of the St. Augustine Lighthouse to the many tragic occurrences that have happened in and around the lighthouse, leading to its current reputation as the most haunted lighthouse in the United States. So prepare yourselves as we investigate the haunted history and frightening future of the St. Augustine Lighthouse. The current lighthouse, located in St. Augustine, Florida, is actually not the first. Prior to the construction of the current and most well-known iteration of the lighthouse in 1874, there was another. The Spanish constructed the first lighthouse tower in 1737 using a naturally occurring stone by the name of coquina that replaced the wooden structures that had been constructed prior to the innovations of this tower. The original structure was referred to as a beacon standing on the sandy hills and was used to help the Spaniards to discover ships at sea in the night. The watchtower tradition would continue until the United States acquired Florida in the Adams-Onis Treaty in 1821. The United States government decided they wanted to shed a little, literal, illumination on the newly acquired coastline. And what more logical place to start than St. Augustine? After all, there was a pre-existing tower right at the shoreline. John Rodman, the collector of St. Augustine, would write to U.S. Treasury Fifth Auditor Stephen Pleasanton to plead his case on his justification for additions to be made, and to justify the money this would take. He stated that despite the tower's looming presence, quote, "It was never built for a lighthouse or used as one, but merely a lookout house. The location is well suited, but a great proportion of the tower, nearly one half, is not sufficiently strong to bear any great elevation, either if wood or stone work." His pleading would prove fruitful, and Congress would appropriate $5,000, which would be equivalent to $111,566.67 by today's standard, in an effort to retrofit and complete the lighthouse. Contractor Elias Whalen would report on March 25, 1824, that the lighthouse was operational and that the new beacon had been equipped with 10 patent lamps and 10 14-inch reflectors. John Juan Andro became the first official keeper of the first official lighthouse in St. Augustine. And as the first, he holds the distinction of being the first Hispanic American to serve in the Coast Guard. and also serves as the first to oversee a federal installation of any kind. Juan would serve as keeper until 1845, after which the keeper position would change hands several times over the years. However, it would be in 1854 that the duty of lighthouse keeper would again be defaulted back to the Andrew family, when Juan's cousin Joseph, Jose, would follow in his footsteps. Jose would tend to the light, and all seemed to be going well, until one fateful night in 1859, when tragedy would strike. Jose was up on a scaffolding painting the exterior of the lighthouse when the scaffolding would fail, and according to a December 10th edition of the St. Augustine Examiner, Jose first struck the roof of the oil room about 30 feet below, whence he glanced off and struck the stone wall which encloses the lighthouse, and thence to the ground, killing him instantly. Upon his death, Jose's wife Maria would be appointed as interim keeper, recognized by the Examiner as, quote, a just and kind recognition of the services of her much-respected deceased husband, and as a just provision for the support of a poor and deserving widow. The newspaper applauded the, quote, kindly sympathy shown in this appointment, triumphing over the usual political reasons for hiring new keepers. The Coast Guard recognizes Maria Andrew as the first Hispanic-American woman to serve in the Coast Guard and the first to command a federal shore installation. Maria served as lighthouse keeper in St. Augustine until authorities darkened the tower during the Civil War in an effort to hinder the Union Navy off Florida's coast. With the Civil War finally in the past and over, on June 1st, 1867, the old Spanish watchtower would once again become a functioning lighthouse, and construction would finally begin on its resurrection and in what would become the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And it would seem that the ghosts of St. Augustine came along for the ride even before construction was completed, as while this time should have been seen as a benefit to public water transportation and safety, the construction itself would be marred by yet another tragedy.
And now a word from our sponsors.
VENATOS
is in our hands. It's left to us, guys. And we gotta do something with it.
Anyone who's been a part of the Press Start family for any amount of time knows that I truly appreciate and value the relationship that I have with today's sponsor, VENATOS. They are truly an outstanding company with great quality products that I can truly get behind and put my stamp of approval on. Their customer service is absolutely hands down some of the best on the marketplace. If you reach out to them for any reason, your emails are typically responded to within hours, not days, hours. And not only do they promise to make it right, they promise to make it better. And as a thank you for your support, they are offering a 10% discount on any orders if you use the code PRESSSTARTMOM at checkout. They do ship internationally, including Canada, and 100% stand by the quality of their products. And so do I. Thank you, VENATOS, for sponsoring this video, and thank you to all of you for checking out VENATOS. Let's get back to the video. With St. Augustine being considered the oldest city, not just in Florida, but in all of the United States, is it any wonder that it continues to beckon visitors with its historic charm? From the dominating fortress that is the lighthouse bearing the name of the city, and even claims that the nearby archaeological park is the original location of Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth, the city boasts nothing if not a rich history. And with that history expanding to the St. Augustine Lighthouse, many have argued that its ghosts have taken their jobs of guarding weary travelers so seriously that it seems that they've never left. Many reports of hauntings have followed the already storied history of the lighthouse, from visitors who claim to hear the screams of Jose Andrew falling to his death, to the many lightkeepers and their families that have called the lighthouse home. The most famous ghost story of the St. Augustine Lighthouse revolves around the daughters of Hezekiah Pitty, the superintendent of the lighthouse construction. Hezekiah Pitty moved from Cape Elizabeth, Maine, with his family to oversee construction of the new St. Augustine Lighthouse. Hezekiah lived on site with his wife Mary and their 4 children, Mary Adelaide, Eliza, Edward, and Carrie. At the time of the Pitty family arrival on site, all that had been completed of the lighthouse was its foundation and 42 of the 162 feet of the tower. In an effort to make the transportation of supplies from the dock to the building site easier and more efficient, a railway cart was implemented. And with not much else to do, and with the children growing restless, it soon became a fun pastime for them to ride the cart down to the water. The children would imagine themselves using the cart to act as a Victorian-era roller coaster, with only the wooden board at the end of the rail preventing them from tipping over into the water. On July 10, 1873, the 3 Pitty daughters, Mary, age 15, Eliza, 13, and young Carrie, who was just 4 years old, were riding the cart with a young African-American girl who was believed to be the 10-year-old daughter of one of the site workers. The girls were all riding the cart as normal. Only on this particular instance, it would not end, as it always had, in joyful squeals of enjoyment and laughter, but in gut-wrenching screams of terror, as that oh-so-important wooden board, the board that prevented the girls from tipping into the water, the board would not be in place. As the girls rode the cart and as they reached the end of the track, the cart went over the edge and flipped upside down in the water, trapping the 4 young girls inside. One of the workers on site witnessed the tragic event and quickly raced toward the water, desperate to save the girls. He bravely dove into the water and lifted the cart off of the girls. Sadly, by the time he reached them, 3 of the 4 girls had already drowned, leaving young Carrie as the only survivor. In the aftermath of the accident, the town was deeply saddened by the tragedy and shut the town down for the funeral of the girls. The Pittys would return home to Maine to lay their girls to rest in their hometown. In the more than 145 years since the accident, strange occurrences have been repeatedly attributed to the spirits of the girls, as many claim to hear the sounds of young girls at play, the sounds of their laughter echoing throughout the halls and around the grounds of the lighthouse. The girls sometimes appear to people as fully formed apparitions that vanish as quickly as they appear, as mischievous and playful in death as they were during their life. Another one of the famous ghosts of the St. Augustine Lighthouse is that of lighthouse keeper Peter Rasmussen. While he was known for the careful watch he kept over the tower, it seems his legacy more revolves around his love of the finer things in life. It was of the utmost importance to him that the lighthouse be equipped with all of the modern luxuries available at the time. He was responsible for ensuring the installation of bathtubs, closets, and lavatories in the keeper's house. But if there was one thing that Peter loved more than his love of modern luxury, it was his love of a good cigar. He was known to look out at the water, silhouetted by the billows of his cigar smoke, content with his lavish furnishings surrounding him. And it seems his desire for the finer things continued into the next life, as several people over the years have reported detecting the faint scent of cigar smoke coming from the keeper's quarters, as Peter Rasmussen, to this day, continues to watch over his beloved lighthouse. The interest and intrigue around this haunted lighthouse persists to this day, attracting the attention of many paranormal investigators, supernatural enthusiasts, and the generally curious alike. Some of the most well-known paranormal teams have set foot on the lighthouse, hoping to gather some evidence. One such paranormal group was the TAPS Paranormal Research Team, who had journeyed to St. Augustine to research and investigate the lighthouse for their TV show, Ghost Hunters.
Mustafa and Kristen investigating the lighthouse at 11:30 p.m. A REM pod is a device that is used to detect motion.
And you touch it, there.
Any kind of movement, and they're not shy about letting you know when there's movement. If you're in one location of an investigation, you hear a REM pod go off, you think, oh, okay, you'll know that there's movement that caused that.
Just let us know who's here with us. Where's that noise coming from?
That might be the one up there. Let's go. It's blinking. It's blinking up there. Let's go up there.
Are we gonna play chase? Is that you playing with us?
See anything? What was that?
Is that up there?
I was upstairs.
Here, I wanna get a good angle. Which one is that one?
I think it's the one right beneath us. Please make contact, we won't mind.
But that is going off.
There is definitely some activity. Something's tripping that up. Something's setting that off.
Can you make our little gadget
Right on cue.
right on cue?
Since I was here last, you had an increase in activity. Personally, I wanted to bring the team here because I love this place and I wanted to share it with them. Daryl and I went into the Lighthouse. We were doing our investigation and Daryl decided to head up. Here's the footage of what Daryl and I experienced.
Basically, I'm at the very, very top, and I had the tri-field meter with me. Caught on to something. And then, out of nowhere, I hear this loud bang. What the hell was that? Holy cow.
And that's definitely not an easy door to open.
Unfortunately, we don't really have an answer on it.
The Lighthouse also drew the attention of the BuzzFeed Unsolved dynamic duo of Shane and Ryan, bringing their unique blend of research technique and humor to the Anastasia Islands. Ryan, believing with his whole heart and desperately seeking evidence of the paranormal, will feel the eerie impact of the St. Augustine Lighthouse. But it seems that Shane, a massive skeptic, may have captured some of the best evidence the team ever captured. And the best part about it? It doesn't seem they even realized the evidence that they'd caught. It would be the keen eyes of viewers that would notice something off while Shane was investigating. And because it was viewers that noticed, this clip is courtesy of one of my favorite channels, covering one of my favorite channels. Thanks to Nuke's Top 5 and his viewers for pointing out what now seems so obvious.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate St. Augustine Lighthouse as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? No.
In this episode, they are investigating the notoriously haunted St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida. It is said that paranormal investigators always have an experience in the lighthouse when they are alone. So to test this theory, both Ryan and Shane will be locked inside separately to investigate. Shane heads in first for his solo investigation, but he doesn't really experience much.
All right, so I'm going in there, I'm going to the top.
Yeah.
And I'm coming back down.
Yeah, that's what you do in a staircase, yeah.
Sounds good. This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me. So far, no ghouls. This is allegedly the site of a lot of FBAs, or full-bodied apparitions. I feel nothing. I really don't. I don't get any vibes. I haven't felt anything strange all night. All right, see you later, dudes.
Now, Shane, on the other hand, didn't capture anything and is completely unimpressed with the whole location. But after the video was uploaded to YouTube, many viewers pointed out that skeptical Shane might have actually caught the most compelling and absolutely chilling evidence of all.
This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me. So far, no ghouls.
Did you see it? Watch again.
This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me. So far, no ghouls.
A dark figure of a man can be seen standing at the bottom of the lighthouse. When the footage is brightened, the man has no distinguishable features and looks more like a black mass than a person. Now, Shane was completely alone inside the lighthouse when he filmed. So just who or what is this?
However, there has been some recent debate as to the legitimacy of the apparition caught. In the Q&A for their visit to the St. Augustine Lighthouse, Ryan would point out the figures painted onto the ground level of the tower and claim that this was what was captured.
And as soon as I saw the screen cap, I immediately knew what it was, which was a painting on the wall. I actually commented on this when I was in my individual investigation. As I was walking up the stairs, I got spooked by that, and I was like, why do they have full body silhouettes painted on the walls? Like, that seems like something that someone could easily mistake for a ghost, which
There you
happened.
go.
No, I'm not, because I'm fucking horrified. Oh shit! That's just a shadow guy.
But when you do a side-by-side comparison, there seems to be a noticeable difference between the two. And if you compare the footage that Shane caught near the staircase with the image that Ryan shows in the Q&A, the area near the staircase does not have an image painted next to it. But as Nuke loves to say,
You decide.
many investigations and ghost tours have happened here over the years, and the rush of interest is unlikely to be abated anytime soon. So the next time you find yourself in Florida, make sure to step by the towering lighthouse. But while you're there, be sure you pay close attention. Is that a shadow? A trick of the light? Or is it Mary Pity, seeking you out for a game of hide and seek? If you breathe in the pleasant aroma of the fresh sea air, do you detect another scent underneath? Perhaps the smell of Peter Rasmussen's tobacco smoke? The years will rage on, but one thing is sure. Even on the darkest of nights, these ghosts will be around to leave a light on for you. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and thank you for checking out VENATOS because it really does help out the channel. If you want to further help out the channel, please remember to like the video and leave your comments below. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe for more creepy videos coming soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves and one another. Good night.